Well, stay with us. Our next half hour of Good Day Orlando starts right now.
Good Day Orlando starts.
And right now in Orlando, 65 Storm Alert Day. The storm team is monitoring the weather. Start your weekend. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Christy Kern. It is Saturday, April 29, 2023. Thanks for joining us on this Weather Alert Day. Let's get right over to Fox 5 Storm Team Meteorologist Ian Cassette. Ian, it is another busy day for the weather department.
Christy, I'm sure many are tired of this week's weather pattern. We did need the rain, but we didn't need the severe weather. And unfortunately, we are going to have two more opportunities for severe weather. One this afternoon and the second one overnight. That one definitely concerning because of the fact it will be late at night. But we have two Fox 35 Storm Alert days for both events. Today, it will be plenty warm, high near 90 degrees before the storms roll in this afternoon. Tomorrow, all the rain's actually going to be in the morning. So for those of you that sleep in or are able to sleep in tomorrow morning, most of the day's activity will be before you even get up. So we're going to talk about that overnight and morning event coming up. But here's what it looks like this morning. This is UCF's camera. We have camera networks showing you the sunshine we have this morning, just some milky skies above, and it will be warming up quickly, getting into the mid 80s. And that heat is going to really help to destabilize the atmosphere, basically get that juice going for the atmosphere storms later today. So because of that, we do have a severe threat for our entire area, and included in that is a threat for tornadoes, unfortunately. So we'll be watching for that here today and into tonight. I will have a look at both the storm threats for today and also a timeline of when you can expect them to arrive. Christy?
Well, we are following breaking news. Police say a man was shot overnight. It happened on Formosa Avenue in Orlando just after 1 o'clock in the morning. That man is expected to be okay. Orlando police did tow a car away from the scene with at least one visible bullet hole. Police say they do not have any information on a suspect right now, but they also add there is no danger to the public. And back to that severe weather that we've been tracking for several days now. Those storms left their mark on one neighborhood in Longwood, knocking down trees and creating a mess for homeowners. Take a look at this tree split right in half. This is in the Wingfield Reserve neighborhood. Another tree fell down on a house, creating a hole in the roof. The family inside says it sounded like a plane crashed into the home. Thankfully, though, no one was hurt. And we had back-to-back storm alert days. You're seeing a time-lapse view from a satellite high above. Take a look at this. A lot of lightning on that screen. Hundreds of lightning strikes, in fact, were caught on camera. And the severe weather also flipped over planes in Brevard County. This was a scene at the Merritt Island Airport. One of the planes was thrown into a perimeter fence, causing bent wings and broken glass. Another ended up flipped over, and one pilot says this is a good reminder for pilots to always secure their planes.
It's a 3-point fastening system with ropes most of the time. Sometimes they buy more professional ratchets like you can see in some other planes. And you can see those are secure. Sometimes people don't expect the weather to turn bad.
Well, 2 of those planes that were damaged were just used for parts. The third was used to teach students how to fly. And a Fox 35 update this morning. SpaceX is now targeting Sunday to launch its Falcon Heavy rocket from Cape Canaveral. The launch has been delayed 3 times this past week because of weather. That new window, though, opens at 7:29 p.m. And while the Falcon Heavy was delayed, SpaceX did manage to launch its Falcon 9 last night just after 6 o'clock. According to SpaceX, this was the second launch and landing for the Falcon 9 first stage booster, which previously supported Crew 6. And also check out this picture from SpaceX. You can see a bolt of lightning hit just above the rocket earlier this week. Wow, that's a picture. This week, sitting on the launch pad, in a tweet, the company said the Falcon Heavy rocket and tower were inspected, and that, quote, all systems are looking good.
Nobody wants a disaster. We all want things to be safe. Yeah, because you know what? There's more Falcon Heavies coming, and later this fall, NASA's going to use a Falcon Heavy to launch a Psyche asteroid mission, a really important science mission.
Well, Ken tells us he saw the lightning first strike nearby and then directly strike the pad. And this weekend is an important time to have the Fox 35 Storm Team Weather app downloaded, ready to go. You'll get any alerts as soon as they're issued, and you can also track the storms with the live radar. And despite the weather, tens of thousands of bikers are descending to Leesburg this weekend. This is the first year since the pandemic that Bike Fest is back to 3 full days in April. Fox 25's Connor Hansen spoke with bikers about if they are ready for the weather. Florida employs the third highest number of construction laborers in the country, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, but the state is still facing a shortage of skilled workers, and an event today is hoping to change that. Fox 25's Matt Trezza is live at Valencia College in Orlando, where a special competition and job fair is happening right now. Matt, good morning. How's it going?
Yeah, good morning. So again, a combination job fair and competition. What we've got going on is people who are interested in the skilled trades. They're coming out here to show off their skills and also to get recruited. So this is at the Valencia College location that's near John Young Parkway and Colonial in Orlando. The event is open to the public. It starts at 9 o'clock and it goes until 1:30 this afternoon. Reporting live, Matt Trezza, Fox 35 News.
Matt, thank you. Well, a scary drug almost made it to Florida. It is called coma in a bottle. Police say it's used as a date rape drug. Luckily, though, it was stopped before it could do some serious damage. Now, the bottle of chemicals was shipped from France and arrived in Philadelphia. That is when it was intercepted by customs agents. It was supposed to go to an address in the Tampa area, but the chemicals can be used as a disinfectant to strip paint or rust. Now, some people use it for bodybuilding, but officials say it really shouldn't be used.
But it's also dangerous. Everything that people try to abuse it for, a party drug, a muscle enhancer, it's still dangerous solvent and could hurt you and potentially kill you.
Well, no one has been arrested so far, but authorities are now trying to see who shipped it in France and who was supposed to receive it here in Florida. Still to come on Good Day Orlando, a new course will be implemented into schools next year, and we'll tell you why it may help with money management. Plus, tipping, it's not just optional, it is a requirement sometimes. We'll explain a new trend that some restaurants are jumping in on.
The race to win my cash is on with the Fox Bet Super 6 Stage 2 contest. Download the free-to-play Super 6 app and pick 6 Stage 2 outcomes for your shot to win.
Bailey dognapped from the backyard. 5 hours later, he was changed.
There's some really sick people out there.
Fox 35 investigates dog flipping, Monday at 10. Good Day Orlando is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
This week on Orlando Matters, we'll sit down one-on-one with Congressman Darren Soto and talk about expansion plans at Port Canaveral.
Today at 10 on Fox 35.
Making headlines at this hour, the state of Florida passed a new law requiring financial literacy and money management courses in high school. Starting in the next school year, students will need to earn a half credit in personal finance literacy and money management. This requirement is designed to teach them about different types of bank accounts, credit scores, taxes, and how to manage debt. Federal help is now on the way to Broward County after heavy rain earlier this month. President Biden just approved a disaster declaration. Rain flooded streets of Fort Lauderdale. Homes and cars were damaged. You can see that in this video. The money will help with grants for temporary housing. And the Florida Senate on Friday passed a bill targeting illegal immigration, including by beefing up requirements for businesses to check on the immigration status of workers and requiring hospitals to collect data about whether patients are in the country legally. Opponents of the bill feel the legislation will hurt businesses and immigrants. A similar House bill is positioned to go to the full chamber. And Ian is here with another check of your forecast on another storm alert day, Ian.
Yes, I think that if you are just waking up and seeing what the day's forecast is like, it's another stormy day today, and we have 2 storm alert days, both for today and tomorrow, for this afternoon more specifically, and for Sunday morning more specifically. So we do have 2 events that we're going to be watching for with the severe threat for both of them. The overnight one is definitely a concern because that is when obviously many will be sleeping, and we want to make sure that you are safe at home during that time. So let's dive into it. This morning, it's warm. We've got a warm day ahead of us. 77 degrees already in Orlando. We're 75 degrees in Daytona Beach. Temperatures today will be warming back up to near 90 degrees this afternoon. And that is when we are expecting the storms. By late to mid-afternoon, mid to late afternoon, storm chances are really going to be rising across our area, and that is when we'll be definitely paying attention closely to any of those storms that do develop, as we do have a severe risk. Highs today near 90 degrees inland, and then mid-80s found along the coast. Both areas expected to see a chance of severe weather. In fact, our entire area has a risk. The Storm Prediction Center just updated, and there are still some questions in this forecast, especially into the overnight. But regardless, the point remains that the severe threat is there for both this afternoon and tonight, with a likely threat of severe weather, meaning we could definitely see a few thunderstorms that pose a severe risk throughout the afternoon and again tonight. So there's a lot to monitor here. I know it's a lot, but you're going to have to take it one event at a time. That first one this afternoon. We have the storm alert days both days. Nicer weather returns next week, much quieter compared to what we've seen. It's time to check out the Snap the Sun photo, this one captured by Luz, and that is a beautiful picture there of the sun. If you'd like to submit your own Snap the Sun photo, you can go to Twitter and put hashtag Snap the Sun, your submission. Christy?
All right, nice picture. Ian, thank you. Well, this weekend is an important time to have the Fox 85 Storm Team weather app to download it to your phone. You'll get alerts as soon as they're issued, and you can also track the storms in real time. It's an interesting concept. Well, coming up on Good Day Orlando, a new survey may sway your opinion on which airline to take on your next vacation. We'll tell you what they say is the best one to travel with. Plus, the Holy Land experience is coming down. Find out what will take its place coming up ahead. But first, we're saving you some money with the Fox 35 Pump Patrol. Gas is $3.19 a gallon at the Circle K on Franklin Street in Ocoee. You can always find gas savings tips up on our website, fox35orlando.com.
Fox 35's Community Calendar is brought to you by these sponsors.
The Holy Land experience is being torn down in Orange County. The attraction closed back in 2021. Advent Health now owns the land after it paid more than $32 million for it. The company wants to build a health complex there that includes an emergency room and health park. An inpatient tower is also being planned. On the Fox 35 Business Watch, stocks finish a volatile week with some slim gains. This is as investors digest more earnings reports. Energy and tech were among the biggest gainers. The Dow gained 272 points, the S&P added 34 and change, and the Nasdaq was up 84 on the day. And homes on the market for sale had a huge fall off. Real estate brokerage company Redfin says that available homes for purchase fell off 22% during a 4-week period ending April 23rd. Homeowners were reluctant to give up on their own low mortgage rates. The drop off in availability is one of the steepest since the pandemic. And a new study has named the top airline in the country. Wallet Hub says Delta Airlines has claimed the top spot for the second year in a row. 11 airlines were scored on several factors, including delays, denied boardings, mishandled luggage, and also price. Spirit also received good marks as the number 2 airline, while Southwest Airlines came in as the worst airline. Still to come on Good Day Orlando, it is a Fox 35 Storm Alert Day. The storm team is monitoring the risk for severe weather, so we'll show you some of the damage that's already been done from these storms this week. Plus, exotic animals thrown into chaos thanks to this week's strong storms. We'll show you how a local wildlife preserve is helping them survive.
Good Day Orlando is brought to you in part by FAS Windows and Doors. Trust the leader. Good Day Orlando starts now with a storm alert.
Right now on Good Day Orlando, it is a Fox 35 Storm Alert Day. The storm team is monitoring the risk for severe weather as you start your weekends. Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Christy Kern. It is Saturday, April 29, 2023. Thanks for joining us on this Storm Alert Day. Let's get right over to Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Ian Cassette with a look at that weekend forecast. And Ian, things are really starting to ramp up as we continue throughout the day.
Yes, it's another day where you have the same weather pattern. We've just had a very active weather pattern, multiple systems that have passed through and plenty of heat to fuel them. And we have our next system on the way. This one, the Gulf, if you remember last week, we had a system just like this that was moving along the Gulf and moved overhead. That is what we're seeing here, is that system, the green, pushing eastward, and that's going to be overhead by this afternoon, elevating that storm threat and certainly elevating the severe threat for today with a front rolling through tonight. So there's 2 separate rain chances and storm chances for our area. Downtown Orlando, we're seeing a lot of sunshine, though we do have those those high clouds, that's also a point towards the moisture that's in the air that we need for the storm. So we're going to have that here today. In Windermere, 88 degrees by 1 o'clock. We're quiet through at least the first part of the day. There is a slight chance of rain by lunchtime, but it's not really going to rise until about 3 o'clock, where we'll really be watching for those thunderstorms that will be moving through. As we do have storms here today, it's going to be the late afternoon that we'll be watching closely. And we have a Fox 35 storm alert day today and tomorrow. And coming up, I will have a timeline of both the storms for today and tonight and what you need to know at home with the severe storms and our threats. I'll have all that coming up. Christy?
All right, Ian, some very important information. Thank you. Well, breaking news. Police say a man was shot overnight. It happened on Formosa Avenue in Orlando just after 1 o'clock in the morning. That man is expected to be okay. Orlando police did tow a car away from the scene with at least one visible bullet hole. Police say they do not have any information on a suspect right now, but they do add there is no danger to the public. And back to that severe weather that we've been tracking for several days now. We had back-to-back storm alert days. You're seeing a time-lapse view from a satellite high above right now. You can see lots of lightning up on that screen. Hundreds, in fact, of lightning strikes were caught on camera. And also, take a look at this. A ton of damage left along the Florida Panhandle, where a tornado tore through Thursday afternoon. Trees snapped like toothpicks, and parts of houses are scattered all over. We don't have a total yet for the number of homes that were damaged, but you can see from this video that the damage was severe. All right, Matt, thank you. Well, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis looks to be narrowing down his presidential announcements. Multiple reports say the governor will formally announce his candidacy sometime at the beginning of June. He's planning to launch a presidential exploratory committee in mid-May. The governor is reportedly deciding between an announcement in Florida or in the battleground states of Ohio or Pennsylvania. And a new bill that would make it easier for the governor to run for president is now going to the governor's desk. The law would change what is known as the resign to run law. The current law in Florida says you must resign from your position if you run for federal office like president or vice president. The new law would eliminate that requirement. That means if the Governor DeSantis decides to run for president, he could stay in his current position.
There is no more sacred thing than our vote. And in this state, when it comes to our elections, we want to be crystal clear. It should be easy to vote and hard to cheat.
There are so many restrictions that are put in here that is going to make it difficult for Floridians to actually have the democracy that America is built on.
We'll lock the machine.
Well, officials say the governor is expected to sign that bill. And a manhunt is underway after a gunman opens fire, killing 5 people, including an 8-year-old at a home in Cleveland, Texas, which is in the outlying area of Houston. The San Jacinto County Sheriff's Office says 4 of the victims died at the scene and the 5th later died at the hospital from their injuries. 3 of their children were taken to the hospital, and investigators say the victims were from Honduras, and a total of 10 people were living in that home. And also, the U.S. Army has grounded all of its aviators not involved in critical missions. That decision comes a day after 2 helicopters crashed in Alaska. 3 soldiers died, and last month 9 soldiers died in another helicopter collision in Kentucky. The aviators are grounded until they complete the required training. Well, still to come on Good Day Orlando, Jalen Carter got swooped on by the Eagles. We'll show you how the former Apopka native's big moments in the NFL draft all played out. Plus, a young boy with big dreams inside the ring. We'll tell you how this local 7-year-old is getting help from a WWE legend to turn those dreams into reality.
When the weather turns severe, you can depend on the Fox 35 Storm Team.
Tornado warning for Brevard County.
There's some large hail associated with this.
I would recommend definitely putting your car inside the carport. Seek shelter. You've got about 5 minutes.
The forecast modeling pretty much spot on now.
Lake Monroe, you've got to get off the lake right now.
We're going to keep tracking. We're not going anywhere.
Good Day Orlando is brought to you in part by Todd Minor Law. Watch Orlando Matters today at 10 on Fox 35. Your one-stop shop for all things Orlando City and Orlando Pride. Don't miss Orlando Soccer Insider. Friday nights at 9 on Fox 35 Plus all season long.
In sports this morning, the Eagles traded up to 9th overall, and they used their pick to take Apopka's Jalen Carter. Many people think Carter is the best player in the draft, but there were some off-the-field concerns. Jalen, though, take a look at this. He was visibly emotional after being drafted.
It was a lot. My mind was changing up every second. But I was just thinking about how my family felt. I've been grinding all my life for this moment right here, and just to see the smile on their face and the tears coming out their eyes, it made me tear up.
His story is easy.
Well, a big congratulations to him. Carter led the Georgia Bulldogs to 2 college football national championships. It is win or go home tonight for the Lightning. They play the Maple Leafs in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Last game, Tampa managed to survive in Toronto, and now they'll play at home tonight. Will the Lightning force a Game 7? Well, we'll see. The puck will drop at 7 o'clock tonight.
We have a Fox 35 storm alert day for today and again tomorrow. This is a view right now. It's quiet in Daytona Beach, a Hard Rock Hotel camera. A good day for the beach, at least for the first part, but the second half of the day, not so much, as those storms are expected to roll in. Now, we do have storm chances both today and tomorrow. For today, it is after 3 o'clock generally for our entire area. And on Sunday, it's going to be in the morning. 2 separate systems. One today coming from the Gulf, and the second one a cold front that's going to swipe through our area, but could bring a potent punch. Looking at the severe threat for us today, our entire area is under a threat of severe weather, likely threat, and there is a possibility this could be upgraded even a little bit more as we go on into tonight and tomorrow, the severe threat. But note that regardless, there is a severe threat for anyone in our area. It does not matter where you are, you have a threat of a severe weather for this afternoon and again tonight. In Daytona Beach, you'll be good through the morning, no issues into the early afternoon, but after 2-3 o'clock, that is when you should definitely be getting off the beach, because those storms are going to begin rolling in and they could be strong. And what we're going to have to watch for along the coast is a possibility for maybe a higher risk of tornadoes as we see those storms interact with the sea breeze. But we're going to have to watch for that severe threat for both days today and tomorrow, with the winds, hail, and tornado threat present. So I know it's a lot. We're almost done with this. Through Sunday, things will clear out, and we're looking at much quieter weather going into next week with a lot of sunshine. Let's check out the Fox 35 weather baby here this morning, and we have baby Natalie, who is all smiles. I love that picture. If you would like to submit your own weather baby photo, you can go to fox35orlando.com. I'll have one last check of the weather coming up. Christy?
All right, Ian, thank you. And this weekend is an important time to have the Fox 35 Storm Team Weather app to download on your phone. You'll get alerts as soon as they are issued, and you can also track the storms in real time. Well, archaeologists have started investigating the shipwreck that was found off of Daytona Beach shores last week. That ship is believed to be from the mid-1800s. So most of the wreckage is missing because of the waves, but the part that was submerged in the sand is well preserved. A team of archaeologists say rough waters are making their jobs difficult.
We were being thrown around. Snorkeling, we did some snorkeling, and then as the tide came up, we had to switch to scuba. And when you have that big heavy tank on your back and you're trying to stand in surf like that, it's pretty ridiculous.
Well, researchers say visitors are welcome to take a close look at the wreck, but people are asked not to break off or remove any pieces of the ship. Well, driving into floodwaters may not only get you stuck, but it can also cost you too. It's called the stupid driver law. You heard that right. First responders have to come to get you. You'll have to pay for the cost of that rescue. Fox 35's Chris Lindsay reports it could be the law in Volusia County.
If you make stupid decisions or play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Volusia County Commissioner Danny Robbins says he wants people to pay for their poor choices. A new ordinance called the Stupid Motorist Law is up for discussion next week at the county commission meeting. It would fine those who ignore flood warning signs or barricades in the road and get stuck.
We have to send our folks out, and they have to put their lives in danger.
The fine could be up to $2,000 if the new rule is passed.
I kind of compare these things to just like a speeding sign or a speed sign. People know that if you exceed that speed limit, there's consequences.
This isn't a completely new idea. The state of Arizona has it in their statutes as well. I went to Goodwin Avenue and Sunset Drive in New Smyrna Beach. Those are 2 roads with severe flooding issues.
I mean, if they're stupid enough to go into the deep water, they might as well get fined for it.
Glenn Whitehouse tells me he's concerned about the safety of the drivers and emergency personnel, and he says many of his neighbors deal with water damage to their houses from the passing cars.
And we get nickeled and dimed to death anyway with penalties for doing stuff wrong. We might as well charge them for that, too.
The council is scheduled to discuss their options on Tuesday. Reporting in Volusia County, Chris Lindsay, Fox 35 News.
Very interesting. Well, coming up on Good Day Orlando, these aren't the typical workout videos you see on TikTok. We'll tell you how truckers are changing lives through social media.
Bailey dognapped from the backyard. 5 hours later, he was changed.
There's some really sick people out there.
Fox 35 investigates dog flipping, Monday at 10. Fox 35's community calendar is brought to you by these sponsors.
We'll move over to TikTok. Trucker Talk is taking over the digital roadway. We're talking about a community of truckers who share about their lives on the road. And one of the biggest voices recently drove through Orlando. Fox 35's Dave Puglisi spoke with him.
This is not your typical workout video that you'll see on TikTok. This trucker is getting fit using tools of the trade.
Trucking is without a doubt a lifestyle, and unfortunately for most, that lifestyle comes with the sacrifice of mind and body.
Michael Lombard wants to help better the people behind the wheel. He leads by example when hitting the bed of his truck for workouts or the streets for a run. His videos influence a fellow driver to change his life by dropping 30 pounds.
I can't even put into words how great it makes me feel. I feel like it's a great way to give back. But at the same time, it's just, I know that there's a trickle-down effect to where now he's going out there and he's setting that example for his family.
But the workout videos, they're just the beginning. As Mike lives his life on the road, he's moving goods and people with a mobile studio in the cab of his truck. Mike hosts the Lombard Trucking podcast and YouTube series. He started to document his travels.
What's going on, YouTube? I am down here in Forest Park, Georgia.
I started to go off and skyrocket once I got my own truck, because at that point I became my own business, and at that point what I was doing, that's when I started to see all the problems out there.
Problems like parking shortages, rising gas prices, and shipping backlogs. He's interviewed other truckers, industry heads, and even local politicians to push for change in the industry. What fuels Mike's journey is his family. His great-great-grandfather started the first iteration of Lombard Trucking with a horse and buggy in the 1920s. The family business was passed down to his grandfather, who drove for over 50 years before the company collapsed in the 80s.
I just wish my grandfather was here to see it. Because I think, he'd be proud.
Today, Michael is reopening the family business with his own version of a single horse and his own version of trucking. Dave Puglisi, Fox 35 News.
Well, trending this morning, a baby purse snatcher in the UK. Take a look at this. This little one tried to make a piece of the princess's wardrobe part of his own on Friday. 1-year-old Daniel Williams was with his mom, Lucy, waiting to greet the princess in Wales. The child took hold of her small black bag and started playing with it. Look at that. Didn't want to give it back. The bag was eventually returned, though, to the princess. How sweet. Well, only in Florida could a driver get pulled over for arguing with a parrot. You heard that right. Troopers pulled over a man on US 19 near Clearwater Beach after getting calls about a possibly impaired driver. They say the driver was arguing with his bird that seemed upset. Troopers say they de-escalated that situation. They did not say if they cited the driver for anything, but given that they posed for this picture with the parrot, we're guessing that they let him off with a warning.
You need to go. Just take care of it all.
Yeah, and look at this. Talk about a launch pad for career in law enforcement. You just watched a cop hitch a ride from an Arizona college student who was on his way to school. And get this, he offered to give him a ride to help the officer chase down a suspect. The man on the run was later found hiding in someone's backyard, all thanks to that hero student. The suspect was taken away in a squad car, and that student had a very good excuse for why he was late to class. I would say so. That's a nice thing to do on your way to class, right?
I don't think they had that in their plan for the day.
No, probably not, right?
No,
Yeah.
and normally these type of things seem to happen the days you have a bunch of other stuff going on.
Always. It always happens that way, right? Speaking of having a lot of stuff going on, that is the case again today with the weather.
Yeah, I think every meteorologist in Central Florida right now is like, are we almost done with this? And many of you at home thinking the same. We have another storm alert day here for today because storms will be rising, those chances by mid-afternoon. So 3 o'clock, that is when the window will start seeing those storms developing. Severe weather possible here this afternoon. Big winds, hail, and a tornado threat. And as we go into tonight, another round of rain. That one could be even a higher risk of severe weather, and a flood risk could return to our area where we've seen a lot of rain over the past week. And the 7-day forecast after storms are done tomorrow morning will clear things out and we'll get a change with sunshine the rest of the forecast.
All right, Ian, thanks. We know you'll be keeping an eye on it as well as the rest of the Fox 35
We'll all
Storm
be
team.
here.
All right, thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you have a great day.
The sign of a better business. The Better Business Bureau, proud sponsor of Orlando Matters.
Good morning. I'm Ryan Elijah. Great to have you with us. Thanks for spending part of your weekend with us on Orlando Matters. Coming up, we're going to talk Port Canaveral looking to grow again, even more than they expected. The changes cruise passengers can expect. And Congressman Darren Soto is our guest today. We're going to take a closer look at the federal government's role in Central Florida's rapid expanding growth. People get fixated on these big, high-profile issues, but these are the federal dollars that are critical to local communities and to state communities.
No question about it. In Osceola and South Orange, the issue is the traffic. We have a huge amount of growth.
Yeah, we all know that. Plus, he's going to weigh in on the presidential race and the surprising early endorsements from Florida's congressional delegation. And a new employee at the Orange County Convention Center. We don't focus on them often, but this one really stands out. You're going to see what this robot will do and what the thinking process is there at the Orange County Convention Center. We're going to start this morning at one of my favorite places in Central Florida. That would be Port Canaveral. So earlier this year, the cruise port actually passed Miami to become the world's busiest cruise port. It is in the midst of a record year already, so much so that officials say a new cruise